first I thought you and the others were bloods. And I realized you just met.
Don't mind me. Just trying to look chivalrous.
This wasn't meant for you.
You know, I always felt this place was missing a real villain. Hence my humble contribution.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
All right, we are live. Ben and Alex, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. We're here to recap Westworld Season 2, Episode number 3. First opinions on that, guys.
Great.
Alex.
Loving
Yeah.
it.
Also great.
Solid episode.
Yeah,
How about
so
you?
I liked it quite a bit. I think during the cold open, I was like, "Holy crap, what's happening? You know, is this the same show? Am I on the right channel?" But
Right.
yeah, all new characters in the cold open. Which actually, cold opens, we're doing that now. That's 2 in a row. 2 episodes
Yep.
in a row with
Long
cold
ones, too.
opens. So yeah, what do you
Right,
guys
this
think
op-
of
this
that?
opening this is the opening in India.
Yeah, so people online have found out it is the Raj. That's the name of park number 6.
Okay.
And yeah,
Makes sense.
we're in India seemingly. We're gonna hunt some tigers, but first we're gonna have some really interesting interactions between 2 humans.
Yes.
One who's not long for this world, and one who I have a feeling will probably be at least a character for this season.
Yeah, I would think so.
And you know, there are already theories online about who she may or may not be.
Oh,
that we can
yes,
get into
there
later.
are. Yes, there are. Some really bad theories, too, if I do say so myself.
I think one is really bad, and one is like sort of possible.
Right. Okay. So,
Out of the 2 major ones.
right. All right, Ben, so do you want to take a lead on this recap?
Yeah, sure. So they our main 2 characters, whose names I believe are Grace and Nicholas, something like that.
Grace and Hot Guy. Get it.
Do you remember what hot guy who dies in 5 minutes his name is?
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure it's Nicholas. No, yeah. I think he said. I think it was Nicholas. But yeah, so we have Grace and Nicholas hanging out in Imperial India, talking about going to kill some tigers and potentially more. And obviously, you know, the thought of killing tigers is enough to turn anyone on. So they proceed into the building for some fun times. And
Yeah, so...
what do you guys think of this scene?
Alex, you want to go?
Let's see. I liked it in that it's another scene that I guess gave some depth to the show. I don't know how to say it.
No, I
just
agree.
another
Yeah,
dimension
yeah.
to it.
Yeah, some
Kind of
more
like how
lore to this.
the other last episode, well, the one before this, started off in the city, and away from everything.
Right, yeah, we're seeing new areas, new worlds, kind of doing some like minor world building outside of Westworld, and meeting some characters who are a little bit eclectic, maybe, because you know most like sexual encounters that I've been privy to have not involved like one person shooting the other person in the chest at the start.
Yeah, this is very interesting. She's incredibly concerned about whether or not he's a host. So she's like, well, either I'm going to murder you because you're a host, or we can do this. And he's like, hey.
How committed are you?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how cool this is. And she just shoots him. But you know, it doesn't really slow him down. After the initial shock, he's like, you know what? I'm fine with it. It's okay.
That's pretty hot.
Yeah. So pretty interesting introduction to these two new characters, especially the one. And so they're gonna go hunt a Bengal. They're gonna go hunt a Bengal tiger. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, makes sense. Probably the most exciting, illegal, and immoral thing you could possibly do in this kind of a world. So it makes sense that that's probably one of the features.
Yeah, I like
legal here.
Yeah, it's legal.
Right.
It's just a
Yeah.
robot. But or maybe it's not. Maybe they just bring in tigers. Who knows? But no, I think it's just a robot. And so I don't know. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this park. We obviously saw only a few areas of it. It seems like a pretty laid back place in comparison to Westworld. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah.
At least the part we saw.
Yeah. It's just like they're just chilling. And it's like
Right.
cool. It looks cool, no doubt. But they're just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And
You have to wonder what the other attraction is in that park besides hunting the tiger.
right, because there's got to be more.
Just going to swanky parties.
Yeah. They just,
Yeah,
like,
hanging out with the governor.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. It's people living out their like imperialist dreams. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so Ben, do you want to keep up with the
Yeah.
plot?
Sure. So we get our two characters here. They arrive in their little camp area where they're going to presumably eat some food, rest up a little bit, and then go out hunting tigers. But there's a problem because all the people who are supposed to be there are missing / dead, including a bunch of humans. As luckily Grace realizes, but our chapping young, I think he's British.
Right.
Our chapping young British fellow does not realize quick enough that there's a bunch of dead humans on the floor. He thinks it's just some kind of like plot twist.
Yeah, which could be interesting. But no, this isn't like a murder mystery.
This is
This
for real,
is just
Jason.
murder.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah,
no,
and
it's
so-
fine. He can't hurt me. And she's like, are you fucking serious right now?
There's like 6 dead dudes right
Yeah.
here.
And he just takes a shot to the chest for real this time.
Yep.
And presumably he's dead.
And we have a nice little like 2-minute long escape scene.
It's pretty cool. She
Pretty
blew
fun.
the guy's face off.
Basically. Yeah. So she shoots him in the face. He's presumably no longer even robot living, and she starts getting chased through the woods by a tiger. That's fun.
Yeah,
The
so I
hunted-
really
the
like
hunter
how this
becomes
was
a hunter.
shot. Like she runs, she escapes, it's fine, and then she hears the growl, and then like out of the bushes comes this giant tiger, which is a nightmare. If she wasn't already having a bad day, this is just truly terrible.
It was kind of a slow tiger, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it didn't seem to. It was just like toying with her.
I guess.
Had all the effort of the Cincinnati Bengals going on with that one.
Is that, how long did it take you to write that joke?
Too long. Longer than I'd like. I was like, this is going to, well, not kill, but I'm going to chuckle.
Chuckle, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the tiger chases her off of the edge of the park, which we get to see kind of happens when you hit the edge of a park. It tells
So,
you to stop. And
Like
then
one of the
it does
first
nothing if
things you do in like Minecraft, you try to find the end of the world. So I'd imagine
Yeah.
a lot of people would go there and be very disappointed. Just be like, oh, so
Equally-
that's it. All right.
Equally disappointing, and it chases her right off a cliff.
Yeah, so do you guys think like if she had stayed there and like taunted it and it charged, she could have like juked it at the last second? That would have been my move.
You want to give that a shot next week, Brian? We'll get a tiger to chase you out.
I don't think I'm making it out of the woods if I'm her. I'm pretty sure that lazy tiger runs me down, but if I'm in the position, I mean, you gotta try it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta
Well-
put the jukes on the tiger and hope it jumps off the cliff by itself. Oh, man.
That would have been pretty sick, but
Yeah,
that doesn't progress the plot forward, Brian.
True. So is that the
Yeah,
last
so that's
part?
the,
We
that's
see
the end
her
of
till
our-
the end? Yeah.
Huh? What was that?
That's the end of the cold open, right?
Yeah, it's the end of the cold open. We see them go flying off the cliff, and then
Yep.
cut to the opening song theme.
Yeah, that was awesome. I must
Yeah, it was.
I
It was
really
very
enjoyed the
awesome.
world
Very
building.
a lot longer than I expected it was going to last.
right?
It was like
That was
10
like
minutes
10
long.
minutes.
I think. Like, yeah.
Like a short film, a Westworld
and-
fan film.
Right. And it's setting up presumably a character that'll be important.
So, what do you think of the host saying these violent delights have violent ends? How would have he gotten infected? Do you think it's kind of like
Which
spreading?
host? Abernathy or
No, the
is it the one the Indian host saying?
yeah, the kind of like the guide who tried to kill them. Well, who did kill one of them.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that.
Yeah, he comes
Yeah, I
around the
think-
corner
yeah.
and he says these violent delights have violent ends before he shoots him.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so interesting. I don't know where he would have heard the phrase to trigger him, but maybe, I don't know, the
Robert's programming.
yeah, the computer virus is airborne. I don't spreading across the other parks.
Well, they're all connected, right, through like the mesh network. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you have to think it's kind of the same thing. It's later in the episode, I guess, but when they come to Pariah,
Mhm.
Robert's talking to William through the new Lonzo.
Right.
yeah, his programming is omnipresent.
Right.
Yeah, so we end the cold open and then we proceed into I believe the beach scene from episode 1 with Strand and the woman from Get Out and we have Bernard and they arrive and meet with Charlotte.
Yeah, which was super interesting because honestly, I was assuming she was dead. I was assuming she died in the other timeline, and that's why Bernard's by himself. But you can't keep Tessa Thompson dead.
Yep. I mean, it's not a terrible assumption to make, right? She's like not seen it all up until this point in that second timeline.
Right.
But they go ahead and they trigger Bernard some more. They push him to try and find out where Abernathy is, and this is just a little bit more evidence of the Bernard is being put through a loop, or whoever may or may not be in Bernard's body is being put through a loop or some kind of simulation in order to extract information.
Right.
What do you guys think of that?
I
Alex?
definitely think he's in a loop. Oh, sorry, Alex.
No. Continue.
No, I definitely think he's in a loop.
Right.
I think it's interesting. I think at the end of this episode, we kind of get the reason why he's
Yeah.
in all messed up, not just like the head injury, but I think we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, Alex, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I had a hard time believing he's in the loop, but I haven't been reading through the rumors. Just
Right.
as watching, it just seems natural to me. But
Well, one of the things in this episode that kind of pushed that theory for me a little bit more was when we were transitioning from the scene where he met Charlotte for presumably the first time, based off of the way the interaction went, and he started slipping back into the flashback. Charlotte said he's slipping away from us again, and again being the important word there. So that's like again meaning that like this isn't like this should be the first time he's seeing Charlotte since the beach happenings.
Right.
But she said again, which makes it sound like it's not the first time this has happened. They've gone through this.
Yeah, and for me, it's just from the first episode where he sees the host get shot 2 times, and he repeats or he says the "I wish you were under better circumstances" line in unison with that other guy.
Right.
We'll see. Who knows?
There's a lot of like breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm not picking up on these.
That's all right.
And they're very subtle.
Right.
But as Brian mentioned, we'll get to later, there's now kind of a reason why they might be wanting to extract information from Bernard after he extracts information from Abernathy, which we'll get to.
That's I'm thinking. That's what happened. I don't know. It wasn't explicitly said, but he does kind of like die. In this episode.
He has an episode.
Yeah. Granted, his hand was shaking before that, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, so leading into that, though, we have this whole sequence with Dolores and her army and a fun little battle that happens. So. Yeah,
do you want to cover that in its entirety?
Yeah, sure, we can cover that in its entirety, and we can cover the Maeve stuff in its entirety separately.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, so we see Charlotte's like, hey, how are these men? And the guy's like, oh, they're some of my best, which, damning with faint praise. I feel like none of these guys are particularly great at their job. Certainly they didn't do much in this episode to, show me anything in terms of tactical skills.
Yeah, they have stormtrooper accuracy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was the accuracy, but the strategy of let's just walk slowly at these hosts. They didn't give the hosts any credit to whether or not they could actually like kill them. I feel like.
Yeah, it was odd.
It's like guys,
they were
just,
walking and
walk.
expecting not. They're like walking and expecting not to be shot at.
Yeah.
And it was
It was bad.
So, these are all security forces that are stationed on the island, right?
I think so.
I believe they were brought in by Delos after
so
word got out.
These ones were brought in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you think they would have came with something bigger?
Like, hey guys, P90s, that's fine. That's all we need.
I mean, we know that they have helicopters, right? I mean, they couldn't have just airstruck the.
Well, they wanted Abernathy, so they didn't want to destroy him. I would imagine.
That's true. It's like an extraction, Well, they could have extracted him and then brought a chopper in to airstrike the fort.
I just don't think they took the host that seriously.
Yeah, I think that's probably the whole reason behind it. Was
we
that,
got this.
Oh, yeah. Distraction.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, whatever. We'll just walk up to them and we'll just kill them. Like, it's not a big deal. And it was a big deal. Because the hosts have plans. So pretty classic Western strategy here. I feel like, at least I've definitely seen this idea in other movies. Where it's like we'll lure them in and then we'll blow them up with either dynamite or what have you.
Yeah, Battle of Stirling in Braveheart.
And the Magnificent Seven remake, they pretty much the same
I didn't
idea.
see that yet.
Yeah, pretty good though. Actually, pretty good Western, modern Western. Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. I dug it. Sorry if I spoiled it too much, but that's only one part of it.
Spoilers.
For real. Sorry, I should have said something.
I kind of thought in the back of my mind when they were talking about nitro in the episode that they didn't have real nitro to use, but there we go.
It's like when season 1 when he has the cigar and he's like, oh, they're requesting to blow it up. And it's like, oh, the hosts are requesting to use a lot of nitrate. Well, that's fair. I mean, they set us up. Give them permission. But, we did not see this coming, so,
They deserve it, right?
They deserve this.
They pulled one over on us.
Oh man. So yeah, Dolores really savage in this episode. I don't necessarily understand why she wants all the Confederados to die, but she made that very clear that not all of them get to go to the Valley Beyond.
That could be, I guess, past resentment from the events of previous lives.
Right. So yeah, she locks the door on them. And then all the Westworld people are like, this is fine, this is normal. We shouldn't be concerned about this. And then Angela Sniper shoots the nitrate and everyone dies.
Yeah.
And boom.
The one good shot.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Oh man.
Yeah, so why is it, do you think, that she wanted them all dead so badly? Was it just easy part of the plan? Because like she wanted all the survivors to die too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like Alex said, resentment, or she just
or maybe
has
she,
a specific. Maybe she's like, okay, well, I can't trust these people to follow my lead after this, so I may as well just eliminate them now.
That was my thought too. She didn't want a bunch of salty people walking around because she just deceived them and killed their friends.
Right. Yeah, but
which is fair.
Teddy doesn't have it in him.
Yeah. Yeah, Teddy has no sack.
Well, do you think that that what that guy said to him is gonna really resonate?
I missed the first half of what you said, Brian. I think you need to lower your sensitivity or raise your sensitivity.
Oh man, well, can you hear me? Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so do you think that what that general said to Teddy really resonated with him and actually convinced him to not shoot him?
About specifically about you don't even know if you want to follow Dolores kind of thing.
Right. And, you're not your own man, all that,
Yeah, I think it will. I think that even Dolores / Wyatt kind of noticed that when he let them go, that he's kind of not fully on board her plans.
Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it resonated, but I think this is what he's been feeling, since episode 1. Since, I guess, last season when he saw her killing people.
Teddy's not a killer. He's the second most virtuous gun in the West now. Behind only Primus.
Behind Remus.
Good segue.
Yeah, because we skipped over that.
Yeah, we have to touch on it, though, because it was, the best scene in the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't wait to get to that one.
Well,
you want to go back to that now, though, because that was before...
Yeah, we'll get back, and then we'll
Charlotte
kind of go
got
through
back
the
to Dallas.
Abernathy storyline.
Yeah.
For the episode. So, Ben, take us away.
Yes. So, we have Bernard and Charlotte in the flashback coming on to a scene with Rebus and his band of little mischief maker / bounty hunters who are kidnapping slaves basically to sell to the Confederados, correct?
Yes, it was definitely the Confederados, at least a branch of them.
Yeah. So he has 10 little captives, and I believe 9 of them are board members, and then one of them is Peter Abernathy.
He just keeps getting himself in trouble, that old Pete Abernathy.
Yeah.
Getting in these wacky situations.
He just wants to get on the train.
Oh, I know. That was so funny. It was someone put a thin narrative over him.
Yeah.
It's damn, shots.
Yeah. Well, was that a shot at Lee then?
Yeah.
I assume that's where Lee who did that. Yeah. So we have the two of them trying to come up with a plan to free the captives and take Abernathy with them to the Delos people so that they'll actually come save everyone. and the plan is to reprogram Rebus to be the most virtuous person ever.
Yeah, and the fastest gun in the West.
And, yeah, fastest gun in the West.
And the fastest gun in the West.
Which is amazing. I love Stephen Hawking. If he's gonna be this character this season, I'm so into it. It's just so against everything he's ever been cast as, and I love it.
I believe somebody went back and saw that he was in episode 1 when they were getting executed on the beach, and he was like trying to protect the woman in the background of the scene.
He's,
So,
I think he has a line like "shoot a woman over my dead body," and then he just gets shot.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the way you think about that in the first episode is he's trying to save other hosts, I guess. But...
Yep, that's exactly what I thought too.
Which I guess it is another host, but he's being virtuous to everybody now.
So very strange
Yeah,
turn for him, but hilarious. He just comes right over. He's like, "How dare you!" It just murders all his friends. And it just has to be an incredibly confusing moment for all the guests.
And then they're running away, and he's chasing after them like, I'll help you get to the.
Yeah, he's like, "There's dangers in these hills. Let me escort you."
Let me escort you. Get away from
He
me.
actually yells, "Get away from me!" Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. I'm so into it.
Yeah, that whole scene was just perfect.
And
that probably my favorite scene so far of the season.
Mm-hmm. And then Bernard and Charlotte get separated here.
I mean, more like Charlotte just
Took off.
totally fucking ditches Bernard and just leaves him for dead.
Okay, well, if you're gonna say it like that, that makes her look bad.
I mean, how else can you spin it?
Right? No, that's fair. That's okay because Bernard's a prisoner now with Peter Abernathy.
Yeah, he's a prisoner with Abernathy too, so at least he can keep track of him.
Mm-hmm. And Dolores is real woke on Bernard now. She's not flustered.
What's that?
Dolores is real woke on Bernard now.
Oh yeah.
She's like, "You're not Arnold. I hate
so
you.
woke.
You're not my real dad."
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's too real.
it's too real. But I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, okay, shoot! Like, here we go. This will be an interesting interaction." And she's just like, "Just put him in prison with the others." I was like, "Damn, Dolores, shit." Dolores, you're kind of a jerk right now.
Well, she has priorities. She has a malfunctioning father who is like barely operating on like the first level of like he's basically a step above a Roomba right now.
Right? He's like,
So
it was funny
gotta deal with
because
that.
of all the hosts to put the data in, like he was already having issues saying his like character as the father and not slipping into the other one, and then you add that data on top of it, he's just all fucked up now.
Yeah, and he's these violent. The delight of the violence is very delightful and violent.
You know, whatever he says. And she's like, "Okay, god damn it." And that's when
right.
she's like, "All right, Bernard, fix him." And Bernard's like,
Yep.
"Ooh, I can't." He is
He's way
really
broken.
broken. Yeah, exactly. But Bernard, right in this scene, he unencrypts the files.
Right.
He's in a one-time access key.
Just you gotta use it this one time.
Mm-hmm. He
Yeah.
unencrypts the passenger file, I believe it was called.
Which makes sense, riding on the host on the train. It works on several levels. And
Yeah.
I personally think he downloaded it into himself. Do you think that's fair?
I think that even if he didn't download it into himself explicitly, like the hosts have like photographic
Oh,
or
yeah,
eidetic
yeah,
memories,
that's fair,
right?
that's fair,
So like
yeah.
if he saw all of the data, like he has it in him either way, right?
Right. And do you think since they have the photographic memories, you could just scroll through it all really quickly? And retain it all?
They make it sound like there's a ton of data, though.
Right, yeah. That's why I thought maybe he... But we also don't know how long
Right.
he was looking at it.
That's true.
It's
Right.
hard, it's hard to say. But yeah, I think somehow that data is what messes Bernard up.
In addition to him still having
The head injury.
wound.
Yeah. He's too woke now. He's the wokest.
Before he wanted to
host.
be, he wanted all the information.
Yeah.
And then and Ford was like, "No, you really don't." And he was like, "No, give it to me."
Yeah. And it was also bad. Like we're in the same position as the other characters in the show now. Like they want all the info from Bernard, but he won't give it. And now we want all the info that Bernard knows.
Right. It's like the one. Well, there's like two major secrets in this season that are being teased very heavily, and both of them might be at least connected, if not the same thing, right? Where we have this weapon that Dolores and William are both trying to get to, and we have the data that Dolores is trying to smuggle off.
Right. And no Man in Black this episode, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he's probably gonna be back next episode. You'd think, though.
No doubt. It's just like there's so much going on; they can't fit everyone in every episode.
Yeah, there's like 8 fucking storylines at this point.
Different timelines. This is a lot.
Yeah, 8 different characters with 3 different flashbacks.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that mostly wraps up the Dolores storyline. We have at the very end, kind of Walking Dead. What's her name? Clementine coming in to knock Bernard out and drag him away.
Yeah. And Charlotte takes Abernathy.
Yep. They got Abernathy, but it might be...
She's still looking for him in the other timeline.
Right, so presumably she's going to lose him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to lose him again, or perhaps the data was they can't access the data now because of the way that Bernard accessed it with the one-time passkey or whatever.
Passkey. Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know exactly how that works or what that implies, but maybe they just can't access the data and it's all in Bernard's.
What did she say? Abernathy just keeps slipping away.
Right.
When at the start of the episode, sort of.
Yeah, at the start of the episode.
Well, they when Bernard goes into the flashback where we end up in the scene with him and Charlotte going to get Abernathy from the rascals.
Yep.
He starts to kind of pass out a little bit, and she says he's slipping away again or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or he keeps slipping away again or something like that. Like something that implies that he's passing out or losing consciousness or losing kind of his grasp on reality, and it's happened more than once.
Mm-hmm.
About
she says
Bernard.
She says that about Bernard?
Yes.
Yeah, she says something about Peter too, like how he keeps slipping. Like, Bernard, were you able to find him?
she
He
says
keeps
about
slipping
Peter.
away from him.
Oh.
She's very accusing.
So that's the first line at the beginning, because she asked, or she's asking the guys, have you seen, what it's Bernard asks if you found Peter Abernathy, and she says no, maybe this guy has or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe Bernard has found him.
Yeah,
oh wow, so I read that line totally differently, but that makes sense too.
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's a whole nother storyline.
Yeah, we have Maeve doing badass things, and
just
Hector
being
and
cool.
Armistice back doing badass things.
Yeah,
Super
she's back with the Darth Vader
flamethrower.
Luke Skywalker hand. Yes, and then a flamethrower, of course. A dragon.
a dragon, yeah.
Which fits with her tattoo and all that stuff, and very fun scene. Well, not for the guy burning to death, but for us, definitely.
He clearly never learned stop, drop, and roll.
No, he's like, oh, do I run and fan the flames? In fairness, if he had stopped, she would have continued to light him on fire, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, you gotta try.
And then so Felix and other guy are back.
Yeah.
Sylvester. They're both named
Sylvester.
after cats.
Yes.
Presumably because they're both total pussies.
He looks like the redhead guy from College Humor.
Yes, from the
Yeah.
Bad Man sketches.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. They should have just gotten that guy to play. He has a funny line later where he's like, I'm not one to complain. Like, yes, you are. Yeah, like, I relate to this guy a lot. And he's like, yeah, fine, I'm fucking freezing.
Oh, that was dark when they found him with a grenade under his chin.
Oh, that was... Ours just doesn't play. She's real cold-hearted. Even for a
She
host.
knows how to use grenades and flamethrowers.
Yes. Yeah, because Maeve upgraded her and Hector, right? At the end of last season.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
She gave them magic fighting powers.
Yeah. I guess why doesn't Hector have a real gun then?
He's a traditionalist.
I suppose.
Oh, he also had a P90 earlier in the season.
Right.
So I think he's just
There's
like, well,
that.
if I'm going back into the park, I gotta have my suit.
Yeah, I guess they only have ammo for the revolver and the shotgun. That's what I would do in a video game too, I guess.
Yeah, he's gotta play the part.
Yeah.
He's not gonna, like, GTA cheat codes get all the weapons. Although they do have machine guns and flamethrowers, so I guess they could. Just need a rocket launcher.
I mean, William is using those console hacks, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
He's
yeah.
finding
to
secret
get the
stuff.
stim
So,
packs.
yeah. Oh, man.
You're right.
Yeah, we also got a lot
yes.
of interesting backstory for Hector, for
Lee.
for Lee, yeah, for Sizemore, where he kind of based Hector on the idealized version of himself. Like, if he were a badass.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. But he gets really mad that Maeve and Hector are together. I'm like, no, you're supposed to love Isabella. This is bullshit.
I mean, you're a writer, Brian, right?
It would be really
imagine
annoying if
that
my
you...
characters were disobeying when I wrote them. I imagine this is like when a English teacher puts their own spin on what the writer meant. Like, and the writer has to hear it, but a lot worse. So I get it.
Because
Like,
you're living it.
yeah, I get it. So, like, this is an important character for him, and we found out Hector's based on himself. And so it's weird.
You're not allowed to move on? I can't move on.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, he's like, yeah, she left me because my lifestyle was unsustainable. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I just love the dynamic of Sizemore with Maeve and Hector. It's just so great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, also, why do you think the Ghost Nation people wanted him specifically?
Oh, this is something interesting we didn't touch on, because this is the end of the Grace cold open thing too. That or we
It comes back in the end of the episode.
It happens towards the end of the episode,
Yeah, I think
where we
last
kind of flash back to that. Yeah.
Second to last.
Yeah,
something
right.
Like that.
So I mean, there's a pretty leading theory, right? I don't know if you've seen about the Ghost Nation people wanting Grace and now Sizemore, and them taking Stubbs last season, presumably. And it's like basically that Elsie is alive and reprogrammed Ghost Nation to like protect humans after she realized what was going on.
I like that theory because I like Elsie. I don't want her to be dead.
Well, Elsie is confirmed going to be in this.
Oh,
So.
all right.
Oh.
Bernard choked her out, but she can't keep her down.
That's an interesting theory.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that like definitely they want humans for some reason, and like they took Stubbs, and Stubbs is apparently alive, assuming that
Right.
it's not like a virtual version of him for the loop.
Right.
So they're not taking humans to kill them and eat them.
Yeah. So this is
And
good.
we know, huh?
So this is good. This is positive.
Yeah. And we know that also that the Ghost Nation tribe like is aware of humans to a certain extent within their culture and like treats them as gods and like deities, right? So it sort of fits.
I like the
You
idea
think
of
she
it.
could program them to be a little bit more friendly or like speak in English?
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe it's like, oh, we can't explain in front of the other hosts.
Right.
'Cause
I guess
then
the
they'll,
scene was
like-
too short at the end of the episode where
Yeah.
they're picking up Grace.
Yeah.
They're just like, sup. She's like, what? The fuck?
You're coming with me now.
Oh man, and yeah, so I like that theory a lot. Very interesting, and I think we'll see
Yeah.
Stubbs in Gracie's timeline in the next episode. You know, and kind of get some more backstory.
Yeah,
on
possibly.
where he's been at.
Yeah, I would love that. And then also, something else I just thought of too is in the first episode, we see the clip on the dead host's like brain scan thing of Dolores attacking Ghost Nation members. So if they're protecting humans, then that
Right.
would make sense why Dolores wants them dead.
That's true.
Because Dolores is no fan of humans.
You know what? She's not into them.
Well, she's not a fan of Confederados either.
No. Anyone
No,
other
she's
than
not a
our
fan of
group,
anyone.
she just hates a lot.
Yeah.
Aggressively.
Anyone other than her father, sort
Yeah.
of Teddy, and like all of her faceless people.
And it's kind of Bernard if he's helpful to her.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, let's see. We end the episode, right? This is, I think
Well,
that's all we have.
No,
left.
we got Man in Black storyline.
No, not this episode.
Sorry, I watched both episodes today and they're kind of blended together.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think that was the last of the storylines. Well, we have to finish off the Maeve story,
Yes.
right? Because we have the very last scene here, where our group of our 6 adventurers wander upon a fire in the middle of the woods that seems to be unattended,
Right.
and Lee Sizemore finds a decapitated samurai head in the snow.
Yeah. So interesting, and then he freaks out. He's like,
Understandable.
He's like, but I think he's like interesting because he's like, oh no, like
You're not
the
supposed to be here.
samurai are here. This is really bad.
And boy, are they here.
Yeah, so one charges us, but I think honestly, Hector could just shoot that guy in the face. Like, in
Or they
1
have a
second.
flamethrower too.
Yeah, like this isn't that much of a threat. I mean, if it was like darker and someone got like grabbed from like the dark woods, I think it'd be a little scary. But this guy's just like, I've never seen a gun before. I'm gonna charge headlong.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought a sword to a gunfight.
Yeah, not smart. But interesting. We got not only Bengal tigers crossing over, but we have the Shogun samurai crossing over from Shogun World.
Yeah, the worlds are very close to each other.
Yes, much closer than initially I thought. 'Cause it definitely seems like they travel a long time through various parts of Westworld.
Right.
So I guess the Klondike area must be on the edge of the
Yeah,
samurai
but I still thought it was like
Shogun
an entire island, but I guess I could be wrong.
Yeah, the island itself must be broken up into at least like the 6 parts, if not more.
Right.
Is
I
this
mean,
fair,
so there's
Ben?
water.
Is this what you
There's
think?
water in between Imperial India and Westworld, but who knows about the other parks?
Right.
Well, it looks like at least Westworld and Shogun World are probably connected by land if they can like kind of accidentally wander between the two.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess there must be a foreshadow at the beginning of the episode that the grid is turned off and.
Yeah.
A lot of
Anyone
good
can
that
go where they
laser
want.
trip thing did.
Right.
But they had the woman telling them to stop.
Yes, that's true. And they
To the
didn't
woman's
listen.
voice. Yeah.
The tiger was like, nope. It's just gonna keep walking.
I make my own rules.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, so that's the end of the episode 3, and looking ahead to episodes 4 and 5, we'll probably get some more James Delos backstory. Maybe we'll probably get some more progress on the Man in Black's storyline in the current day, where he's going to destroy the weapon. We might get some more progress in. Well, I think episode 5 is going to be the Shogun World episode. It has a Japanese title.
Oh, that's cool.
And next week's episode is called the Riddle of the Sphinx.
Ooh.
So whatever that means.
Going to Egypt world.
We're going to Egypt world.
Yeah.
Maybe, but there's still 3 worlds. We don't know what they are.
Right.
Like a
Speculating,
Lawrence of
course, but-
Arabia style world. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might just have like a bunch more people crossing over too.
So, Ben, any dumb theories?
Oh, there are
I
tons
got-
of dumb
I
theories.
got a dumb theory that's offensive. And
Do you want to talk about the dumbest?
Yes. So some people think that the new character Grace is a young Teresa. What? That doesn't even. What?
Well, so I'd had the similar thought when I first saw the episodes because her mannerisms and smoking the cigarette and some of the way she said things.
Right.
It was
but-
very similar to Teresa, but I think it's just a red herring.
Yeah, but like, presuming season 2 is after Teresa dies.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it's hard. It's hard. It's a stretch for me.
So yeah, it's just a callback.
Yeah. So maybe a relative of Teresa.
Teresa's daughter.
If we
who
want to
knows?
do something like that, but it can't be Teresa.
No.
Is she? I don't think Teresa was old enough to have a daughter that age, right? She looked like she was maybe 30, and Teresa looked like she might have been like her mid-40s. I don't know, maybe Teresa was older than she looked.
I
maybe
thought
this-
Teresa was late 40s.
And maybe this
okay.
character's
So maybe her
way
daughter.
younger than her actress is. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, it could be her daughter, or it could be somebody else's daughter, because there is another big theory about who this character Grace could be. There's a lot of people thinking that she might be Emily,
I'd be into this.
going under some kind of alias or like using a middle name or something. So
I'd be into it being the Man in Black's daughter. Like, that'd be cool.
yeah.
The age.
And I mean, she did seem to be very careful about not leaving her DNA with hosts, and it looked like, you know, she had a plan beyond just killing tigers. So she was talking about like, you know, killing tigers and maybe something more or something like that. So maybe she came to the park to get revenge on her father for her mother committing suicide, because she blames him. We know that. So maybe that's the storyline there.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Something to watch.
She would have probably gone back to Westworld though, if it was revenge in mind.
Well, she's got to practice, right? She's got to, you know, practice her shooting and shooting some tigers first, and then she goes to. Well, she doesn't want to come immediately into Westworld, right? Maybe she wants to take him by surprise a little bit. I don't know.
It's all just wild.
I think that
speculation
was
at this
pushing
point.
it.
Yeah, this is like this is
Yeah.
a very broad speculation.
But yeah, another great episode. I love this show.
Yeah,
A lot.
loving it so far.
Yeah. So
I know there's a lot of people who are not super digging Dolores's character arc, but I know I talked to you, or I messaged you earlier about this, that I think that there's kind of a parallel between, and I don't want to like do any like Breaking Bad spoilers just in case in 2018 you're watching this and haven't seen Breaking Bad.
right.
But I think that there's like a lot of parallel between like the Dolores transition to Wyatt and the like Walter White transition to Heisenberg. I think that both of those arcs have very similar kind of paths between them. I don't know what you guys think of that.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot faster for Dolores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, right.
But it's interesting. I like the idea that the Man in Black is the villain of the first season and like the protagonist of the second season and vice versa. You know, for Dolores, you know, she's the innocent protagonist of season 1 turned into the cold-blooded villain of season 2. I kind of like that. It's kind of follows the Man in Black's trajectory of like his season 1 storyline, where he's the white hat, and then by the end of that, he's the black hat villain.
Yeah, and Dolores is going in the opposite direction. Or I guess
We're going the same.
I guess
direction
like
now.
well, I mean, William is going from went from white hat to black hat, turning into the Man in Black, and now he's going from black hat sort of back to white hat to try and like fix his mistakes, quote unquote.
Yeah, and you know, we'll see if that holds up.
Great. And I think the moral of the story is that like, you know, good and bad are, you know, relevant or relative, and like there's not really like nothing is quite as simple ever as like white hat, black hat. Right?
All right, we're all gray hats at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, we're all just Bengal tigers jumping off cliffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Preach.
All right, well.
All right, cool.
That's all we have.
It's
Thank
Westworld,
you, everybody,
Westworld
for
Season 2,
listening.
Episode 3.
Yeah. And make sure you check out our Fake Nerds updates as well as streams. I think we are going to get a Fortnite game together. I haven't talked to anyone about this yet, so it's kind of floating the idea right now. But there's some Avengers crossover with Fortnite that I want to check out and stream. So perhaps later on in the week. As for us tonight, we're going to be signing off. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And thank you so much for listening.